Welcome back to Making Me Watch Movies, voted #1 movie podcast amongst our listeners. The movie you're making me watch today is 2012 Thomas Vinterberg's The Hunt. Not to be mistaken with 2020 The Hunt, which is a
No,
different
probably
movie.
very different.
Very different movie.
Totally different.
I started watching that movie
Very.
thinking it was this movie, and then you were like, nah, it's a different movie. I was like, okay.
2012. Yeah, I haven't seen the 2020 version, or main film, not version.
It's definitely not a version of this one.
Yeah, no, it's not. This is a movie.
Jake's pick.
my
Jake,
pick.
you got a coup?
I do. Oh yeah, the coups. Good
call.
coup.
What about you?
I do got a coup. How
Let me
about
pull her up.
I got
Yeah.
one. While you're pulling her up, I got one. It's here we go. Ready? It's I didn't dig it. This movie made me fidget. I think he did it.
Huh.
Whoa.
Is that really how you feel?
Hot take.
Hot take. Got a hot take. All right, interesting. All right. My haiku is her lie was simply void, and now his life is destroyed. He must be annoyed. He got pretty annoyed. He got upset about his life accidentally getting ruined for a little while or forever.
Yeah, he didn't get annoyed enough, if you ask me.
Schwartz, you got a
Alright.
haiku?
I
Yeah,
know
yeah,
why
yeah,
he
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
get
Ready?
annoyed.
Hit it.
Whispers turn to screams. Innocence lost in the snow. Trusts break. Hearts unravel. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was the snow
That's
line again?
awful.
That was a good one.
That was really
What
awful.
do you mean?
I like the
Innocence
middle line.
lost in the snow.
That was pretty cool.
You got to
Thank
edit the GPT.
That is
Two
three
of it.
different GPT together.
Wow.
I did. Thank you very much.
Kidding. Kidding.
Alright, my
That's
bad.
from my brain.
No, I bet.
Came from out of your brain, dude.
out of his brain.
Wow.
Out of his
In
brain.
my brain movies.
into ChatGPT and then back into his brain in a different form. That's
Nah,
cool,
dude.
That's cool. I don't like it, but that's cool. You did.
You don't have
did,
to like
done
shit.
Good. I did exactly.
You don't have to
That's
shit.
cool.
All right. So sounds like you didn't like it, Anthony. Let's get into why you didn't like it. Not go too crazy on the plot, but give us a brush over. Why didn't you,
You
like
know what I don't think we need in cinema more of is pedophile movies. There's something about pedophile movies that irk me, you know. There's something about the idea of pedophilia in general that
Oh, it bothers you? You don't like it?
it's hot take, not a fan.
Yeah,
So,
I get it. Absolutely.
It's considered by most one of the worst things.
Yeah.
So I just don't think we need entertainment about it. And
Okay.
this falls into that category. It's a pedophilia movie, and I'm just not into pedophilia movies.
because it's about the idea of it. You did say something interesting within your coup about you think he still did it, but
Yeah, I think he did it.
yeah, I think he did it off camera.
We know just BTS did it. He's real method, Mikkelsen.
That's
Or,
not me.
Mads.
That's really fucked up. Shouldn't be laughing about that.
No, I mean I think there was enough there to show like why the girl said the thing she said and how quickly it got
Yeah, I know.
blown out of
course, I
proportion
get
and
it,
stuff
of
and within the
course.
dialogue and
Listen,
with
I mean, the
my
movie was
haiku
just
is
about
what I
kids
like to
lying.
call comedy. It was fun. It was funny to say. I think he did it.
controversial coup. Dang.
Do I think? Yeah, it's a con coup. Do I think he actually did it? No, obviously not. She's a little liar. She's a little fucking bitch, in my opinion. But you can't
I
say
mean,
that.
she doesn't
She's
know
a
the
kid.
ramifications of what she said. You know what I
Great
mean?
development.
She gonna
she
learn.
doesn't get it. She doesn't get it.
She gonna learn.
No,
And that's the
it
problem
really
with this
should-
Wait
movie.
till she grows
Didn't-
up.
Didn't say much.
Well,
Like,
no,
it was mostly just like
that
spiraled out of
fucking
control.
woman. It was the
You're right.
It was
fucking
that
woman.
It was that chica for sure.
Yeah, it was the old woman.
Greta.
You're right.
Yeah,
That it was
that
not
bitch.
gone about. But I mean, that it's just, why do we need a movie about like the worst case scenario? Here's the worst case scenario as to what can happen. And
Well,
right, well,
it,
listen.
okay, it wasn't the I was gonna say it wasn't the worst case scenario, but yeah, it was the worst case scenario. What can probably happen to a person other if he unless he got convicted wrongfully. At least he like I almost said got away with it. He almost got away with it. He almost he was able he was cleared. So at least there was that. But yeah, he went through some fucking hell, of course.
Well, I think to answer your question, why make a movie about that? Because I get it. Like not everybody wants to watch a movie on certain subject matter. You know what I mean? And pedophilia is definitely one of them. And there's been some great movies about it because of how big of a subject it is and how
There's a
how
draft
strong
right
of a
there.
subject there is.
pedo movies.
You know what I mean? I mean, we watched the one that Barry Levinson made about the kids who went to the prison. Remember Sleepers? That was a pretty crazy movie.
That's a pedophilia movie.
You don't remember that? Fucking yeah, fucking Kevin Bacon and the other guards were raping the kids at the prison.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, and they were like 12 years old. It was pretty
I
insane.
don't remember that.
Anyway, what the
Yeah.
point is that this director made his original movie, which was the first Dogma 95 movie, was called The Celebration. And that movie was ultimately about a really rich family who, through this movie,
Don't give too much away of that. I want to watch that movie. So
You've never seen that movie?
Don't spoil it. No,
You've never seen it?
I have not seen it. I haven't
Oh, well,
gotten
it's
a
about
chance to.
pedophilia. That's what it's about.
All right, cool. So
So-
Thomas Vinterberg is a big fan.
Actually,
Of the
what
subject.
he said, I listened to a lot of him talk about it, and he said in every interview, like a guy approached him, a psychiatrist approached him out of nowhere. He didn't even know. It was like, "Yo, you made The Celebration. You should make this movie. It's like the opposite of what The Celebration is." And he said he put it on the shelf for like 8 years, and then no, yeah, well, yeah. So no, well, he gave him all these case files where the exact thing that happened in this movie happened all over the world many times, where it was a false accusation, and he gave him like 100 different case files, and he's like, "You should make a movie about this," and then he like shelved it, and then like 8 years later, he said verbatim, like, "I needed a therapist," so he called the guy and he read the case files first, so he had something to talk to him about, and he was like, "No, I agree, like this would make a good movie." And then eventually he wrote the movie with his buddy. From like all the case files and the information that he gathered from those files, this is what he made of it. What's really cool about this movie and the way it keeps interesting is that you don't see the key scenes that you think you're going to see that you always see in movies. You don't see him get interrogated by the cops. You don't see a lot of people like talking to him about what's going on and making him feel ashamed. Like, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't even know what he did like halfway through the whole fucking movie. It's like
it's very much through his eyes.
it's very
figuring
personal.
it out with. I mean,
And
we know
yeah.
what happened, but we are seeing him
experience it.
Yeah, we're watching
Yeah.
him figure it out in real time.
I think that's what makes this movie good is that it's not just very cookie cutter, like this is what's going to happen that we've seen before with these stories. And we kind of can know and kind of be like, well, we know this happens because you know he's going to have to wait and go through it. Like they show it, like they make it feel real. Like you really felt like you were hanging out with this guy while like his world was falling apart and he didn't know what to do. And like the shit between him and his son was really good, I thought. Like I thought that was the best part of the movie, to be honest. Like the son and his relationship and what it does to that family. Like I thought that was really, really good. Is it a joyful movie to watch? Absolutely not. But sometimes like, I mean, it's neither Schindler's List. You know what I mean? Like you watch those movies because you want to see a well-made
wildly
movie.
entertaining movie.
I mean,
That was my thought while watching this. That
it's a heavy movie.
Of course, it's a heavy movie, but you can't compare Schindler's List to this.
I'm comparing the
first half of Schindler's List is great. It's a comedy.
I mean, it's not comedy, but I know what you're saying.
I don't remember the first half.
Well, it's in Holocaust
before it starts.
Right.
There's no
right,
Holocaust.
Right.
It's just
cool,
talking
cool.
about Oscar Schindler like living the good life.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
Cool guy stuff.
Cool guy. He was a cool
right
guy.
on.
But I think
Cool
you can
guy.
compare the heaviness of these together. You know what I mean? Like it just tears your world apart when you watch them. It's
I
like
actually
watching
like-
somebody's life unravel.
Yeah.
I like this movie more than I like Schindler's List. I
That's
watched this
cool.
movie several times. I get very intertwined or
I can
enthralled
never
or
watch this
whatever.
movie again.
No way.
I don't. It's hard to say because I know you like the movies for enjoyment. I don't know. It's hard to say. Enjoy and entertained is probably a different thing. Entertained, maybe not so much. Enjoy. It's weird.
You could say enjoy without liking
Yeah,
what's happening. I like what people
Sure,
understand that you enjoy the art
You respect
of
it.
cinema.
You respect it.
And I like
Yeah.
that it's effective. That's the what I is.
It's
probably
a
the
well-made
best
movie.
way
I'm not
to
saying that.
describe it.
Yeah.
It's effective in the sense of it definitely makes you feel something. It makes you feel
Yes.
either outrage for the subject or whatever. Mostly just a sympathy for the characters because you know the truth where all the other characters don't know the truth. And yeah, but I don't know where should we like start from the top or
Yeah, sure, go for it. There's not a lot, you know what I mean? Once you get into it, it's kind of like self-explanatory. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a time because it's very detail oriented, of course, because it opens with him and his like group of homeboys. He's got Lucas is the character played by Mads Mikkelsen. Kind of opens with him and his friends doing some hunting shit. They go swimming and goofing around. They're always partying, always drinking and stuff. He
Naked
seems to
swimming.
be naked swimming. He seems to have a good time with these guys. He is we learned that he is a kindergarten teacher. He's
Which
very
is strange.
well. They go on to explain that.
Why is
because,
that strange?
I mean, I don't know many 40-year-old men that are kindergarten teachers, but I mean, I've never seen that in real life or in a movie before. That's why it was strange to me.
I don't think
Someone's got
that's
to teach
weird.
kindergarten. I
Yeah,
don't think
I
that.
don't think it's weird
I
for
find that to be
a
weird.
man to be a kindergarten teacher.
But again, they explain that in later dialogue because when they're
They do.
talking to the girl
They
or when
do.
he's having a conversation with Clara, the villain of the movie.
little
So he's
bitch.
very hands on with the kids. Like the kids are like, they like tackle him and like he's got always a group of like kids like going like like rustling
He's
the
buddy
ground and
buddy.
shit.
They're buddies.
They're
Yeah.
he's buddies
They're
with all his
buddies.
kids,
He's
very
friends
hands
with
on with
these
these
kids.
kids. But
Yeah.
then there's a lot of like little details. Like he's obviously this is very physical connection with these
He
kids.
wipes the kid's ass.
Exactly.
Literally.
So I was gonna go next. Like this kid
Yeah.
has got to take a shit and like he's got to wipe this kid's ass. Like it's
Yeah.
a that kind of job. Like he's alone and not intimate in a way. What would be a better word for that? With these kids.
It really just shows you
Yeah.
how much humility he has for his
And how
job.
good of a dad he is
Yeah,
too. You know what I mean? How
exactly.
good of a
Yeah.
person he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
a good guy.
dude.
Yeah. He's a great guy.
So he at the end of that first day we see him I think it's at the end of that first day like he walks like this little girl home. It's his best friend's daughter.
He like
She's-
finds her.
She's like lost
in the
somewhere.
store.
And she
Yeah,
does
'cause
the thing with the cracks. Remember? She doesn't want to walk on the
Yeah.
cracks. Yeah.
Doesn't want to walk on the cracks, kind of stuff like that.
I
So
used to
she's
play
like
that
kind
game.
of helps him, like he guides her while she's always looking down. It's like a thing they do, and she loves his little dog Fanny.
Yeah. Fanny.
Fanny.
Yeah, and they kill the fucking dog. Like, get out of here with this fucking movie, dude.
That was pretty maddening.
That
Yeah.
was pretty.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I forgot about that shit.
It's just
That-
like
yeah, that was
it's just kind of on the nose, try to make you feel. It's like it's unoriginal.
100%.
It is.
100%.
That's the only part that I was like,
That doesn't
is
make me
that,
feel,
would this
though,
would
like,
this happen? Because a
John
lot of it
Wick
was
did it
very
better.
realistic, but that part was like maybe that one too.
Realistic? I don't know. I don't even think like how this all went down is all that realistic.
Well, it's
for the
like
most
mob
part.
it's talked about like mob mentality. You know what I mean? And like being and feeling like you have to go for along with everybody, and how in a small town one person's talking can spread. You know what I mean? I feel like it's
get the
realistic in some
message,
ways.
but I feel like this is just like the most unrealistic something that is technically realistic could go down.
I don't know. I didn't feel like it was very unrealistic.
Felt
what was
pretty-
unrealistic
felt
about it? I
realistic.
felt like it was
Just
very
the way it spread. Like nobody talked to him, nobody gave him the benefit of the doubt, other than like the people that were helping him. Like the way that that it was just immediately believed this little girl. Like I don't know.
Well, I think
mean,
that's the whole thing.
I
Like,
think that's pretty
how
realistic.
words can change so quickly. Words can spread and be misconstrued and gets just blown up so quickly, and it can just like it's like a fire, like just spreading rapidly without control, and this dude gets fucking burnt, and it sucks.
I think if anything's unrealistic about it,
poetic.
if I was gonna think
Thank you.
about it, unrealistic is the way he reacts. He doesn't fight for himself at all. You know what I mean? That's the part
Not
that
he
early-
doesn't
not
know
early
what's
on,
going
'cause
on.
he doesn't
That's
fight.
all-
I know, but
that's-
still,
Yeah,
I
that's
guess that's
another
true. He has no
maddening
idea what they're
part.
saying.
So once we continue to meet him through the girl walks him home, we meet we see his friend earlier, Theo, is the girl's dad.
Yeah, we have to
best
say that.
friend.
This little girl is his best friend's daughter, who he's got a very close relationship to. All these families are tight knit fucking families. They're like they tight knit as fuck.
Right. And I don't know. We like see little details. Like Theo says, I don't even remember what they were talking about specifically in this scene, but he even says something like, "Oh, I can tell you're lying," or "You got a little twitch in your eye." Blah blah blah. They're talking about some shit. I think he was talking about.
That's important. Yeah,
that's
so
definitely
he says
important.
when he lies, he does something with his eye. He says, "I can always tell when you're lying," which is important in the movie in the end.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I believe it's also in this kind of quickly in this part we see a very crucial moment is that we see Clara's brother and his friend like looking at porn on
Yeah.
a little iPad,
Yeah.
and just kind of they just run past Claire and like say some keywords of like and show like this dude's dick and this like pornographic image, and they say something like, "Oh, look at it, looks like a rod sticking up in the air," and then they
Yup.
run away, and then we clearly see that she's affected by that.
Yep.
And
I thought in that moment, I was like, "Oh, that was a fucking dick move, dude."
yeah, for sure. And
Yeah.
I didn't know much about this movie before I saw it, so like those little details, like I didn't really pay that much attention or give that much thought originally, and then once you see it more than once, I think a lot of stuff comes out quickly or
Yeah.
a bit more clearly.
I think it's painted very well. That's why I think this movie is,
Yeah,
is good.
absolutely.
It's the details about this movie
lays
that
out
make
what
it good.
happened.
Yeah. So go ahead.
We find more about him. We learn he's kind of seemingly recently divorced because
Yep.
he's in like a custody battle
Yep. He's
for
got his own big house to himself.
right, yeah, that was like mentioned, like that he's now alone in a big house with Claire. This
Yeah.
conversation with Claire. That was another where he explained that he had a different job as a teacher in a different school, but that
Yep.
school got closed, so he has to settle for
This job.
being a kindergarten teacher, and he kind of gets shit from his wife about it too on the phone. He's like,
Yeah.
you're just a kindergarten teacher now."
She says that his son's like embarrassed of him, which is not true, and I thought it was going to be
Right.
true, but that was pretty fucked
Yeah,
up.
she seems like a real bitch. We never actually see her or meet her, the
Nope.
ex-wife, but
Nope. Which
over
is
the phone, she
interesting
seems
too. That's
real
interesting thing to
bitchy.
make a movie about divorce and never see the fucking wife.
Yeah.
Like that's an interesting thing too. Like it's a little
I
different.
kind of, I always,
Yeah.
I
It's not
for some
about
reason,
her at all.
yeah, exactly. I enjoy when characters are in things when we never actually see a character. Like
That's
there's
yeah,
like
I do too.
yeah, it's just
It's not
interesting when
often
that
though.
happens. It's not often, but it's like cool when that can be done.
It's almost unheard of.
So yeah, he's gonna get custody of his son was what we learned
Yes.
at that point.
Well, at this point, you think that he really wants it and that the son doesn't want it because of what the mom just said. You know, which is what they make you
Right.
think at first. Which I was like, oh, okay, that sucks for this
Right,
guy.
because I think he's
Yeah.
learning that he's gonna get it, and then she's
Yeah.
like, "No, he
She's
doesn't
like,
want
no,
to
he
live
doesn't
with
want to
you.
come with
You're
you.
a
He
piece of
feels
shit."
bad for you. Yeah. You're a school teacher, a fucking kindergarten teacher. Yeah.
And he's kind of a dick to her too, but it's great. She deserves it. He's like, "I'll
Yeah.
fucking
And
put
then you
in your
find out he's
place."
banging this young chick who works with them.
Yeah. Well,
She's
that
cool.
starts like all on that one day. Like the next day, he walks Claire to school again,
Yeah. He
and
sees her outside and her parents are arguing and he
right,
like saves the day again. He's like, listen, I'll count the fucking steps or you count the step, you count the cracks, I'll walk. And she's like, oh, my fucking hero. You know what I mean?
yep.
She's like, you're the man.
And then when we go to the school, we see her. I think after like we see the kids wrestle him and stuff shit again. We see her making like a little Valentine heart, not necessarily Valentine, but like a little heart and like a little note folded up. And then we see him wrestling with the boys again in like a different room. He gets knocked down to the ground and this like he falls in like a certain position and like we kind of see her react to it. Flashback to porno scene. We don't actually see the flashback, but you know what I'm saying. And then she does something fucking weird and she kind of like jumps
She
on him
kisses
and
him
like
on the lips.
kisses him, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, we're not doing that, and pushes her off
Yeah.
and was like, okay, and then kind of pulls her aside, like, we can't or don't do that for
Yeah.
one. And I found this present. You shouldn't give this to me. You should
Yeah.
give this to someone else.
Yeah. And a boy in your class who's your age, he
Yeah.
says specifically. And he says, you don't kiss anybody on the lips except for your parents. That's what he told her
Yep.
too.
And she's like, well, fuck this motherfucker, and storms off naturally.
Mhm.
And later, she's talking to like the principal, and she's like, you know
Well,
who sucks?
But listen. We should
Yeah.
paint this picture a little clearer. This girl is like sad that her parents fight. She's sad that she doesn't have anybody to like hang out with because her parents are always fighting. So when the principal finds her, she's in this dark room by herself, sitting in the dark, and she's like startled by it. She's like, "Oh, you're still here?" And she's like, "Your mom will be here soon. Don't worry." And then she says something along the lines of like, "Yeah, I won't worry." And then his dick was up to the sky or whatever like that, right? Is that what she said? Like it was pointing
No,
straight
she
up.
was like, I hate Lucas or something. She's like,
Yeah, Lucas.
I
Which
don't
is
even
Mads
know how.
Mikkelsen.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
just kind of starts like, I hate Lucas.
Yeah.
He's mean and ugly and has a penis and it points up to the
Oh,
sky.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, well, first like he has a penis and then she kind of laughs. She's like, oh,
She's
well,
like,
most
they all
men
do.
do.
Yeah, yeah,
Your,
yeah.
your brother does. Your dad does. Blah blah. And she's like, well, his points up to the sky. And she's like,
She gets weirded out by
what?
it. Yeah.
And she's like, did he show you? And then she even says no. To
Yeah.
that, I noticed like she says no.
She says no through the whole fucking
Yeah,
movie.
she's no through the whole time, and then they just kind of like make her like kind of just walk her into saying yes. But like that's really all it was. Like
That's why it's
and
kind of
and then she's like, and she'd even explain like I gave him the heart, he said no, because clearly that she like has a crush on him, and he
Yeah.
obviously
He gets it. Everybody gets
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And then but she told the principal that well he gave me this, but I don't want it
yeah.
instead of the
Yeah.
other way around.
The
which is
letter
like,
that she wrote.
yeah,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
obviously
also
she's a
she
little
when
liar.
when she gave him that heart, he asked her, "Did you give me
Right.
this?" And she said no.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
She
right,
lied.
yeah.
She lied to him right there too.
It's like your name was on it. It's like, nope,
She's
wasn't
like,
mine.
nah,
Oh,
I didn't do it. I
yeah.
didn't do it.
I forgot about that.
But
yeah.
we're already setting up a pattern of lies for this.
She's a little
Yeah.
fucking liar.
Little
This is the thing,
Devious
Anthony.
chica.
I disagree with you. You thinking that it's unrealistic that people would believe the kid over him. I think the way this goes down.
the way this goes down is unrealistic. Not that in
I don't-
not in that broad of terms, but the way this went down and just the way that in the very beginning, the principal seemed a little more
Like doubtful.
A little doubtful, yeah, a little more doubtful of what she was saying, but then immediately she just goes, "Nah, children never lie." And then that was her take on that, which I've never heard anyone say before.
Well, this is the thing. I think in that what she meant by that is that like when kids talk about something like this, in her opinion, you have to believe them because if you don't and it's really happening, like you can't let it happen. Like you have to take it seriously. You know what I mean? And I think that she took it way too seriously and stepped out of her lane with it. Besides her keep, this is the thing. She didn't do anything wrong until she told everybody. When she told the parents, that's fine. When she told the police, that's fine. But it's when she fucking told everybody, like his ex-wife and the
Yeah.
fucking neighbors, that's when it was wrong.
She
I think
completely
that
mishandled it.
exactly. I
Completely,
think
yeah.
up until that, like she could have told the police, she could have told him, like that's fine because, like, in my opinion, like she had to handle it like that. You have to go into it, but like that's where she fucked up. And I think him not like being more like pissed off about it verbally to people is where it also made him seem guilty too. You know what I mean? He kind of was just like, no, I didn't do whatever you're saying, and go fuck you. Whereas like he could have like really tried to plead his case more. You know
See,
what I mean?
Well, for a while, he didn't know either because
I
the
don't know.
way she
Like,
told it
you,
all
I
was
didn't
all
do
weird.
it sounds more guilty than not
Yeah,
anything.
he was
Well,
definitely
he basically says that
obviously that's an
though.
awkward position because like he tries to like distinguish it very quickly because he goes to what's his name? He goes to Theo, his friend. Like after he this was a couple days later even because
After he figures out it's Clara.
yeah, because the principal kind of
She
accidentally
gives it
says
away.
that
Yeah,
because even
yeah.
telling him initially like he had no way to even defend himself because he didn't
He
know
didn't know
Who it was.
what he did or
who it
did
was
not
or what was
do.
going on.
Like he could have
Sure.
the only problem I guess he could have assumed it was Clara because the whole weird heart thing and her trying to kiss. He could have maybe been
I
like
feel like
this
that
happened, but like he never
could have been
ratted on
such a
her at all.
mundane,
But it could have been
such a
like thing.
children's random thing that happened that it didn't even
right.
stick in his mind. You know, it was just like,
That's
whoa,
that's a good point, and
I
possibly.
yeah,
agree.
I don't know.
I
that's
agree.
that's
He's
very
probably got to
possible.
deal with kid shit all day.
Yeah,
And
and
also,
he has a kid, so yeah, he
how do
knows
you
he
like
knows
bring up
kids.
like weirdly like, oh, she kissed me and gave me a card and then I told her not to and that's why she's mad. That sounds dumb. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
It's
that's
there's
not
a lot
something
of
you think
weird
would
She's
thing, you know?
accusing she is saying that he's accused of like showing his penis and molesting a child, and that
Yeah.
none of
That's
that
yeah.
Ever
that
happened.
he's just
Yeah.
completely caught off guard by it.
Right. Yeah, she's like a kid, he or she may have seen your genitals. He was more like,
Oh
how
yeah,
did they, how
he
did
was
they
like, how the
see
fuck
my
did that happen?
genitals? He was just
Yeah.
confused by it. And and it wasn't until like I think later that night where it kind of was to a point where, oh, this could be a serious problem because then that was when his son called him like, I'm not supposed to talk to you, blah blah blah. And
Yeah,
yeah,
this is where it starts getting like really crazy because you see
because
how it's
yeah,
affecting his son, you know what I mean?
because he's told to take the next couple days off, and then he goes in the
Yeah.
next day to be like, "What's going on? Like, clearly something's going on."
Well, he finds
You
out
call my
because his
wife. Yeah,
wife,
you
yeah.
confronted the whatever principal lady or whatever, and that's when she's like, "Clara's an innocent girl," and he's like, "Clara, what?" That's
Yeah.
my fucking best friend's daughter. What the fuck? No, fuck you. And then big boy fucking escorts him off, and I think he's again like I think Anthony's right about he's so caught off guard where he's just like how do you even respond to that? And I think that's pretty realistic. Like I think someone would get frozen and like even those little incidences with Clara, like he might be like, should I even say something? Like, do I even think of it? Does it register? Do I say it? Like it's
He
such a weird how do you respond to that?
I guess you're right. He does handle it in the most gracious way possible through the whole movie. And like even when he meets her up with her at the end, he doesn't like act like he's mad at her in any way. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Do we think Clara's also a little bit like spectrumy?
Yeah, she kind of has that for sure.
I think she's depressed and sad that she doesn't have a good home life more than that. You know what I mean? I think she's just kind of like detached.
I don't know. There might be some weird, deeper issues that might be. I mean, obviously it wasn't in the movie, but might be hinted at with like relationship with her father, relationship with her brother, like weird.
What do you mean?
There might be other abuse,
What?
possibly.
I didn't get that at
Possibly.
all. Really?
I don't know.
Why do you say that?
I just think I think there was a couple
Her
times
dad
with
is a
like
creep.
her brother and dad like looked at her in weird ways. I don't think
What?
so. I want to say no.
I
Because
think that
they
was
were just more
because
like
they
You
were
want
having,
concerned.
like-
you want more molestation in this
I
movie?
don't think so, but I think there's underlined maybe. They leave a lot of things open in that sense because there's also a line she says about like what about the others? But I think she's talking about the other kids accusing him of stuff, but maybe she's talking about other people who have hurt her. Maybe. I don't know. Because when Clara goes to his house
No,
later
I
that
remember
day,
that, but I think that
like,
was we were meant to think that he is meant to think that other
there's
kids, and then later on, other kids say that they were molested by him,
right. That's what I think she means, but I wasn't,
and they
I
said
don't
that
know.
he had like a carpet in his basement. He's like, I don't even fucking have a basement.
Yeah, no basement.
I like that scene because that scene made you think for a second that like, oh
Yeah,
my God, they've all seen the basement, and then you're like, oh, they didn't.
yeah.
Thank God.
How do they know
That was
about his
cool.
basement? Yeah, that was a
That was
good scene.
cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
All the scenes where they're just like, dude, like we'll figure it out. I mean, whatever. Maybe it is realistic, but
Yeah. The
it's
spectrum
realistic
thing.
in just like the like worst case scenario. Like all Karens. This is a town of Karens.
Yeah.
This movie's anti-Karen. This movie's anti-woke, anti-Karen. This
It's
is
interesting. I
pre.
mean,
This is
it's
pre
like
Me
how
Too
do
too.
it is. It's very good with that. It's very timely. It feels like it's like right in the Me Too in the cancel culture era because this was perfect example of cancel culture before cancel culture was even
Maybe fucking
originated.
Norway. What country was this shot in?
Denmark, I believe.
Maybe Denmark was had a little Me Too movement before.
Maybe they did. I don't know much about the Denmarks. The Denmarkians, I think is what they're called.
Danish.
No, pretty sure it's
Yeah,
Denmarkians.
Denmarkians. I'm pretty sure they speak Denmarkian in this movie. Yeah, it's Denmark. Yeah, wait. No, it's Danish. Sorry.
I don't know.
thought
I'm gonna
that
be
was-
honest.
I
I
thought that
only
was a
saw the
pastry.
English parts because
Well, the couple conversations he had with his girlfriend.
yeah, because
Those are the only-
it's the only
scenes you
because it's
watched.
Trump's America.
I don't do subtitles. I refuse.
Yeah.
Oh.
Subtitles are rough sometimes. Not gonna lie.
What else?
Damn.
What else? So yeah, he got accused, and then I think a little time passes, right? And I think things probably start flaring up again because his kid comes into town.
The church
He-
scene's great.
Yeah, it's a little later. His kid
That's the
finally
end.
kid finally shows up. His kid goes to the grocery store, and the grocery store guy's like, "Don't come in here. We don't want your kind here." He's like, okay, what the fuck?" And then
He doesn't like you.
yeah.
I don't like you either.
And then he goes back home. As he's getting home, old dad's getting arrested by
The grocery store guy said
by-
your dad's not allowed to shop here too. He told him
Yeah, and we don't want you here either.
that.
Yeah.
We don't need your kind. Your dad's you're a pedo.
I thought it was funny how the police are like in jeans and like just like little like blue like turtleneck outfits. They just have like a regular ass car and they're like, well, we got to take him in when he was getting arrested.
I didn't think about that. Detectives.
Yeah. 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 I guess plainclothes.
Yeah, I think that
detectives.
was probably it. So they didn't like, blow the
PCDs,
cover.
dude.
PCM makes sense. All right. Fine.
Duh.
Whatever. I don't know. I don't know much about Denmarkians. I'm sorry.
My dad was a cop.
Yeah. I
You
can
guys
tell.
wouldn't know about that.
Top secret.
My dad did this thing called geese police.
Geese police.
Anyway, continue.
All right. Yeah, then he goes and talks to Theo because then the boy gets locked out of the house. Goes and meets up with Theo. Theo's
Yeah, that's an interesting scene. Like he
Yeah.
leaves, his dad leaves, or when his dad gets arrested, kid gets locked out of the house, and he's about to what's he about to do? He's about to like call his mom or something, and then he's like,
Yeah.
"Nah, I'm gonna call this dude." And then it shows him going over to the accuser's house.
yes.
Theo is his name,
Theo's the dad. Yeah.
the daddy.
Yeah. And then
He confronts.
Why does he need to talk to him? I mean, he asked him for the key, but I don't know like why. He's
He
like,
he
can
went
I,
to get
can
the
I talk to
key,
you about
then-
something?
Then they
Then
gave
he like
him
comes
some
in and
tea.
invites him in, and then yeah, then he like spits in Clara's face. He's like,
He
bitch.
does. Yeah, that gets
Yeah.
pretty wild.
it's pretty intense.
She
I
deserves
love
it.
that.
Though,
That
honest.
scene was great.
Yeah.
We can all agree she deserved it.
She's a child, man. I don't think she has any malice in anything she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the movie's about. Is just how like a misunderstanding like
How
just
bad
can
kids are.
ruin your life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Abby.
That's
That's
it.
yeah, it's just how things can get out of control, and I was just like a fucking lie.
Really, Schwartz? Do you think is that your hot take on that? You think that's what this movie's about?
Well, you're acting like this girl's like vindictive or she's like a terrible person. She just doesn't. She doesn't get it. She's too fucking little.
Yeah, she's a confused little girl.
She doesn't get it,
who-
dude. Somebody got to teach her.
Yeah. It's Greta. Greta's it's her fault. It's that fucking principal who like completely fumbled the whole damn thing.
Is Greta the Danish Karen?
Greta's definitely the Danish Karen. If it's not now, it is now. If you know what I'm saying.
Thanks, Greta.
Yeah.
Why don't you put your cart back in the stall, Greta?
So he gets arrested, and then the kid fights everybody at the party, which was cool. And he gets kicked out, and then finally goes to the guy we just met in the previous scene. The his godfather is, I don't know if he's like related to Lucas, but he's one of Lucas's boys, one of the few people that are actually like believe Lucas didn't
The guy
diddle
with the glasses.
the guy with the glasses and the beard and
Great
he's-
house.
We meet him in the beginning, I
house.
think.
Yeah, he's in part of the friends group. He's in part of
Yeah.
the party guys. And he eventually goes to his house. He's like his lawyer or something, it seems like.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, these kids are all these kids. And then he starts talking about the case and how a bunch of kids are like, have said that there was tapestries in a basement. And then he's just like, well,
Tapestries?
clearly a rumor got out of control and all these kids said some shit. Cause I think part of the thing Greta even said, he's like, we got to call the parents and tell them to ask the kids if like he did anything. So it's like
if
they're like
exhibiting
continuously
any,
that too,
side effects of
symptoms or
of it.
whatever,
Symptoms.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then she like listed them off, and they were like, "Are they tired? Do
Yeah.
they not want to eat their vegetables? Like shit kids do all the time." They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, dude, all of our kids got molested.
Yeah.
Guy's a chomo for sure."
So yeah, it's things continue to spiral. But eventually he's freed. He gets out because the whole
He
things
escapes.
don't make sense. No, he's let go.
Imagine that's where this goes, is a prison escape.
I've been sick.
That would take a turn. That'd be interesting.
Like
He seems too nice to do
son-
that though. I feel like he's just gonna be chilling. He's not the
His
type
son
of guy
goes
that
to
is
that
doing
guy.
that.
Well, his son goes to that guy, and he's like, "It's all good, man. Like, we're gonna get your dad out of jail." And he's like, "Oh, really? Like, you have all the proof to get him out?" And they're like, "Nah, dude. We got a bunch of explosive, a couple of horses, and a big ass truck. We're gonna pull that door down, and fucking ride his ass out of town."
Right, like the dudes in the basement or wherever they were, like that turns into one of those heist planning scenes. He's like,
Yeah.
I got my best explosive gun. I got my best lot guy right here. We're gonna get
Yeah.
him.
And then years later, he'll write a book called "If I Did It."
That would be really interesting. At like the first hours, this weird melodrama about like a guy getting wrongfully accused and just turns into this heist film. That'd be kind of rad. We should write that.
It would have been
Different subject, though.
such a better movie.
Let's do it.
We'll chat GPT that later.
Chat GPT that later, and then we'll figure it out. We'll just change pedophilia to something not as gross.
Yeah, what's a little less gross than pedophilia?
Just murder.
Everything?
Maybe just murder. Maybe just like wrongfully accused of murder. I think that's a simple thing. We'll do that.
Child
We'll make-
murder is better than pedophilia.
Child murder is yeah. Well, I'm gonna move on and not
If the-
debate that subject.
Lovely Bones. This guy, Lovely Bones.
Stanley
there?
Tucci's creepy in Lovely Bones, dude.
Lovely Bones is fucking weird.
Did he touch him or did he just murk him? He touched
No,
him.
he did both. Yeah.
Damn.
All right,
Well,
we're about to get to
Freddy
the part
Krueger.
where
Freddy Krueger just murked him.
then he got burnt up, and then that became a good villain. So it paid off in the end.
Yeah, he's better.
All right, the hunt. We're about midway now, so that's fun. Yes, he gets out of prison or jail or whatever that he's in briefly, and it seems like maybe things are gonna be okay now because he was freed. Nope, he gets a fucking rock through the window and his dead dog in the front porch, and that's when things get really shitty.
That's when I went from not liking this movie to hating this movie.
Yeah, I was really sad about the dog, and then they had to show the dog. And
Sad. It's just pandering, dude.
It was just-
pandering to sad.
I can't
It just-
interrupt it. I don't know.
Anyway, Drew Leonard just interrupts our podcast.
Drew over there making
Yeah.
baked potatoes.
Yeah, talking about what food he's gonna order. Cool. Anyway,
Shout
yeah,
out to
the
Drew
dog.
Leonard.
The fuck. Yeah, shout out. We love him. Love you, dude. Fucking the dog. The dog was brutal. That was sad. I don't know. I don't think it was pandering. I mean, that maybe, because I felt like that was like, would that actually be a thing? Like, who
And
would
now
do
he's
that?
gonna be friends with all these fools after
Well,
all
who-
that shit.
I guess. I mean, it wasn't like a group. It wasn't like everybody. It had to have been just one person.
It was
probably
the dude, right? His
probably-
friend.
It was a lot of people.
Well,
all
no
of them,
one.
all
No,
of them,
we don't know who it was.
all
no
of
one
them
ever
acted
says
the
who it
same
was.
way.
Why do you think it was the friend? Think it was Theo?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
I don't think it was Theo.
I just do.
I think Theo believed him the whole
You
time.
just do. There's no. You don't have any supporting. Like there was no lines
Either him or her
thoughts.
brother. Maybe it's her brother.
That's a little bit of my theory about maybe the person who shot the gun at the end.
Yeah, it kind of
Is
looks like
maybe
him.
maybe the brother, maybe if anything, and some things just point back to the brother. Some weird shit.
Who's the
There's some
brother?
parts. The aunt Clara's brother. Very not seen much, but
I don't even
parts.
remember her. There's a brother.
There's a brother. Yeah, there's a brother and his friend were the ones that had the little iPad in the beginning when they showed her the porn.
Oh yeah.
And then there was like a scene where he was like kind of like putting Christmas stuff like decorations up with her, and
The
and then
Christmas movie.
yeah, it was a Christmas movie. It was super jolly.
Well, he cries because of what happened. What he thinks happened to her.
Right. Yeah, probably. So I think yeah, and
What are
like
you laughing
also
at?
No,
also
it
at that
it
ending
reminded
with the
me of
with
the
the
South Park
ceremony with the
special.
gun, with like they were giving the kid the gun, and like that we'd see her brother like staring at Lucas, and he kind of looks over at him, then he kind of looks away, and he starts looking around, and then someone else glances over at him. So it's kind of like people are still giving him the side eye like later after
Yeah.
I
like
don't think it
all the whole
matters
years
who
gone
it
by.
was at the
I don't
end.
think it does really either in the end, but there's
Dude, they killed his fucking dog. That was terrible.
yeah, and that I
That dog
think
was awesome.
that's probably the best theory, but who knows? It could have been any
Yeah.
asshole in town.
Fanny could have
'Cause
been
the
a
whole
fucking asshole. You
the
don't
whole
know.
Fanny was awesome.
Fanny wasn't an asshole, though. She was cool as shit. And if you said
I don't
that
know.
her ex-wife's name, she'd bark. That was hilarious.
Probably fucking leaving bones out to step on and shit. You know,
The whole
No.
town hates him because they think he fucked all
not
these
letting
kids or
go of the
something, and
ball when they're playing fetch. You know,
they kill the kid and he buries the dog, and that's another super sad scene where he's just fucking in the
Then he
rain
goes to the church.
burying his dog, and then that's not quite the church. Then it's the grocery store.
Oh, the store.
This is kind of
scene in the
this
movie.
is like the fuck it time. I think once his dog is dead, he's just
church
like
is the best.
now he's just like, all right, fuck this. I don't give a fuck anymore. Like now he's just like I'm not hiding from these people. And there's
Yeah.
no like it's cool because there's isn't like you were saying earlier, like you don't get those scenes where like he doesn't ever like say that. He doesn't ever have that moment of like I'm sick of you people, or like, he doesn't have that like big
Yeah.
like speech. It's just things that feel more like authentic and what normal people would probably do.
Yep.
So
Also,
he goes
we
to
don't know what small town Danish normal people are. We know
That's
how you would react. You're a Jersey
True,
thug
true.
and a Michigan F word.
friend. It's friend. So he goes to the store and they're dicks to
I got
him.
nowhere to talk.
Yeah, Fresno.
That's why it's funny.
Um,
The butthole of California, as I've heard it recalled to.
No one's ever called Fresno,
Fresno.
the butthole of California.
That's not true.
Fresno
I've heard it
Jersey
called
is
that.
the butthole of America.
No
Yeah,
way.
Fresno's the butthole of California.
Shut up,
There's
dude. Michigan. Nobody cares about it.
Yo, he's getting mad. He's like, "Don't talk about Fresno,
Don't you ever
bro."
talk about Fresno. Fuck you guys.
the
Fresno's the
hand.
best.
It's
Central
the hand of
California.
It's the
Shout out
hand
to
of the
559.
mid of the country.
Just happened.
Anywho,
You're not even from a cool town.
Danish,
dude.
Dutchland. Where are we? Denmark. My bad. Denmark.
I'm over here pissed.
Denmark people. Christmas time.
Shout out to the Danes.
Sadness all around. Yes. So people at the store don't want to sell them pork chops. And
The big ass
motherfucker-
fucking muscular guy behind
Yeah.
him cutting chops.
Yeah, big chop boy
No
doesn't want to sell him the chops.
Yeah.
Fuck comes around the fucking his little cart thing.
He
punches
goes,
him in
no
the
chops, no soup for
And
you.
he's like, no chops for you. Punches him out, and he's like, you can't just punch people. And he's just trying to get escorted out by a bunch of people. They're fucking kicking him, punching him while he's down and shit. Throw him out, throwing shit at him. And you know what he does? He's like, fuck this. I'm getting my chops. Goes
He
back
gets
in the
his
store.
chops.
Gets his chops, gets his groceries, leaves, and then Theo is out there in his car with the family, and I feel like this is when Theo's like, well, fuck, maybe
Theo, I think
maybe
Theo
not.
never believed his daughter 100%. Theo,
I think Theo has had a little doubt. For sure.
Theo knew him longer than he's known his daughter. He knows him better than he knows his daughter, probably.
And
And
his wife seemed like a real bitch too, so his wife was probably
dude,
making
the
him
women
think.
in this movie sucked.
Yeah,
All of them.
yeah,
I mean, I guess.
yeah. I mean,
What do you mean?
he had that girlfriend that seemed.
What do I
all right.
mean? They're the crux of the problem. They just spread the shit, and especially like it all started with what's her name. It all started with that little bitch Clara. Clara.
Yeah,
Can't
Agnes
blame
is
the kid,
worst.
man.
The mom's and then he just gets it's just
I want.
shit got out of hand. Shit got out of hand.
She got out of hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just it was like playing telephone.
Yeah, and one more.
It wasn't like playing telephone.
Kind of was.
It
Kinda
was
was.
like she wasn't accidentally construing the words. She was forming the words from Clara's mouth and then telling the world. Like
And then they would tell someone and
she
have, like, a
heard what
different
she
person.
wanted to hear, not what was being said.
Right,
It
and I
wasn't
feel like
an
that happened
accident.
but every time for the next person to the next person that could have happened. That could have in the head gotten worse and the head gotten worse, especially
Nah.
once more kids started being like, he did me too, me too, me too.
I think
All
with
that
the
shit
mom
started
scene
happening.
where the mom said when she says to the mom that he didn't do anything and then she says no he did, you just don't remember that or you just want to forget. That's
Yeah.
when I was like, man,
That shit.
that's some bullshit.
Yeah,
That's
I mean
some
how all the
bullshit.
parents were
That
just
shit.
I mean and even there was that fucking dude too in the early on where after like whether the principal brought in like the therapist or whatever that dude was,
Sure.
that big like he was like basically like forming like doing the same shit and that was way early on and that was like her being like, "Okay, cool. So I should fucking ruin his life." Cool. Going for it. So yeah,
Yeah, she
there was
she
a lot of
was
that.
yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, it's probably just got worse as it went on. It just escalated. And until he said, fuck you guys, you killed my dog. I don't give a fuck anymore. I never fucked any kids, so I'm fucking doing what I want and going to get chops, and I'm going to go to church. Chops
Yep.
and church.
Take me to chops.
Gets punched in the face. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, in the store. And then he
Nice.
oh, yeah,
Headbutts
then
the
he
guy.
headbutts the dude, which was fucking rad.
That was cool. He gets physically thrown out of the store by these two fucking big ass Danish dudes. Like, get the fuck out of there, pussy. Then he literally walks back in and headbutts the guy in the fucking face. That was awesome.
Yeah. Like, just give him his groceries.
Yeah.
Dude,
He's all
headbutt's gotta
fucking,
hurt.
all fucking bloody and
Yeah,
shit.
it's gotta
That was,
hurt both sides.
that was such a great scene too because it was it's so mellow of a movie.
Yeah.
I mean the subject matter is fucking intense, but like
Yeah.
it's like the pace and like the action and everything is and camera work even is like super mellow and
Yeah,
just like
sleep.
that scene is just like whoa fuck. I don't know.
And-
I'm still very I was still always interested in the movie because it's kind of like what the fuck what's happened next? What's gonna happen next?
I was too. I wanted
Maybe-
to see. I
maybe
thought this guy was
early
gonna get
on,
fried,
it's-
dude.
yeah.
I thought he was gonna get fried in the end.
Did he
I heard
die
there
in
was-
the end? Did he get
No.
shot?
No,
But I did hear that they shot an ending where he did die.
Yeah, there's an alternative
I
ending.
I
They
thought it
didn't
was
use
open
shot.
to interpretation. I thought he did get shot or he didn't get shot. I took it
No,
as
the
a
the
shot.
dude ran away and
I
he
saw
was
the
like
guy walk
on the
away, yeah.
ground and he only shot him once and it hit the
Well, he
tree.
shot at the
Or
tree.
shot he
yeah.
shot only shot once, I'm sorry. Hit the
Yeah.
tree. Then he like kind of
Could've
went
gone
on the
through
ground,
him.
then looked up and then well he was still like looking at him and she was still moving, but I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't
This is
kill
the
you right
thing.
away. Those solid full metal jackets, they go right through you, dude.
So you're saying he
I-
did it and he died? Did it and died?
I think he did it and he died.
Okay.
When I before I saw the movie, I read that there was an alternate ending where that happened. So if I didn't read that, I would have in the moment thought that that was coming because I did. The way it was being shot, to where like it was just like the medium shot of him standing there. I was like, oh, someone's gonna shoot this motherfucker, and then he gets the thing shot. You know, the
Yeah,
truck
when the
driver
last
he's
scene is him hunting, I knew
Yeah,
that was gonna
yeah.
happen.
Yeah. I thought that's how it was gonna end. I thought they were gonna like accidentally, quote unquote, accidentally fucking shoot him. You know?
Well, that was just a good way to
I think
end it
that's how it ended.
because like I mean we're almost to the ending, so let's just the church thing. He goes to church. He's fucking hammered when he goes to church because he's
Is
just
he?
so
Was he drunk?
fucking
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
He was
I
doing shots like
missed that
before like
part.
getting ready. He was like cleaning his cuts up and shit. And then he got dressed and he was like fucking pouring fucking drinks over and over. So he's kind of fucking hammered. Goes to church. Starts kind of just losing his shit during like one of the songs that the kids.
Well, the
are
little
singing.
kids come out. The kindergarten
exactly,
class
yeah.
he teaches comes out and they're singing fucking
And it's-
music, and he sees
yeah.
Clara there. Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking for him. And
Yeah.
he keeps looking back at Theo. Theo's looking at him. And then he finally just flips out and goes over to Theo, starts yelling at him and fucking hitting him and shit. He's like, fucking look at me in the eyes. Look at me in the eyes, motherfucker. And eventually, yeah, leaves.
Well,
now
he
wild.
sees him from across the church.
Yeah.
And Theo realizes that he didn't. That in that moment he was like telling him like, "Look, I'm not lying," and he tells that to his wife, and he notices that, and he like
Right.
gets pissed off, and he goes over and confronts him, and he's like, "That scene went so different. That
Speaking
scene
of
went
the
so
mic.
different. Yeah, that scene went so different than I thought it was gonna go. Like I thought that scene was gonna go like he was gonna attack him, and then they were all gonna attack him, and maybe like kill him or fucking like take him out of there, and like it went when that dude Theo didn't react physically. I was like, holy shit, this dude's gonna get like redeemed. I was like, it's actually
Yeah.
gonna happen. I did not see it ending like it did. Like I did not think he was getting redeemed, to be honest.
Okay, yeah.
I did not see
mean,
that
I
coming.
don't know. I kind of just rolled it. I didn't really have expectations of how it was gonna go. I'm glad it ended in some redemption.
Yeah,
But I'm curious how long that
me
actually
too.
took because
Got
it
away
was
with
like it was a year later to only when it like was seemingly over, but then it clearly wasn't. So because once the Theo kind of goes, visits him after church, gives him food, gives him some drinks, kind of just sits with him for a while. And I like how like there's not a deep conversation. There's just like they just sit, and I think they just kind of know.
That's when he like tells him without telling him, I believe.
Yeah. Exactly. I thought
That was right
That
after
was a great scene.
That was right after the church scene,
Right
right?
after-
That wasn't.
right after,
That
yeah.
was before.
No,
the
that was
flash
before the thing, and then the flash forward a year later to them, and it was his son getting his hunting license, getting the rifle from the Godfather, them singing
forward. Theo.
like the party song. No, he got the
Oh yeah,
gun
yeah. His
from the lawyer
lawyer
guy.
guy.
But I think Theo was there. Theo and like the son,
Yeah,
his
yeah,
like
yeah.
family were there. That's where like his son
Everyone
was
was
giving him
there. Everyone was
giving him
there.
like
He
the
was
stink
hugging
eye
each other
because it
and
was kind
shit.
of like still like, but it was still like there's some tension in the air. But people were
Yeah,
like, it's
his life's
seemingly happy
ruined.
though. Yeah,
This
so
movie's about how a guy's life got ruined because of a fucking kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
and some women, fucking dumb broads. Am I right?
Karens. Couple of
Yeah,
Karens in this
very
movie.
much. Some Greta's, dude. Some Greta's.
Couple of Dutch Karens. Danish Karens.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Shout out to Karen, whoever you are. But you guys know any Karens?
I have an aunt named Karen.
I had an aunt named Karen.
What happened to her? She's not here anymore. Got a
Can't
divorce.
talk about it. Can't talk about it.
I won't bring her up.
Who?
No one.
Exactly.
He passed.
All right, then yeah, Lucas gets shot at and it hits the tree, and then there's some dude holding some silhouette of some shooter, and Lucas is like, "Ah, fuck," and cuts to black.
Lucas
He doesn't
says,
say "oh fuck," but his
"God
eyes say "oh
damn
fuck."
it.
Your life will never be the same.
I
know.
didn't touch it.
We know this dude's life is pretty.
Or
bad.
that guy's like, I know what you did. And
I
know
get
you-
why we watched it. I get why Jake likes this movie. It's very hard hitting, and he likes those dramatic movies. And I think that like if you were to say, "Yo, is this a good movie?" I'd say absolutely. I think it's really well done. I think Mads Mikkelsen, the guy who's usually like a villain or somebody who has a very big presence in movies, played a guy who didn't have any presence in a movie, and that was kind of cool. That was an accomplishment on his part. It's almost like if Sam Rockwell
What do you
couldn't
mean he
talk
didn't have
fast.
any presence?
Like
I feel
he
like
purposely, he was a
certainly
very nonchalant
commands-
guy. He was quiet.
You're right.
He
He's
only
not
did
like
exactly what he
an
wanted to do.
exuberant
Yeah.
character.
That's what I
but
mean. That's what he
definitely
usually
has
plays.
presence on. I just thought of it.
He was
separate-
very just
different way.
common, dude. But he was like, in
Sure.
person,
He's
just
a
a very
regular dude.
regular, an average
Yeah, just
Joe.
doing average Joe shit. Yeah.
Wore his fucking jeans to work, green suit coat kind of guy.
He's one of those guys who wears his jeans to work.
Yeah, one of those dudes.
I hated it.
I liked it.
I
It was a
kind of
good
figured
movie. I'll never
Anthony
watch
wasn't
it
gonna
again
like
though.
this. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Anthony.
Yeah, Jake, maybe stop picking movies like this.
I didn't mean to do it because of that reason, but I just thought, I don't know. I like the depth of it. I liked the where it went. I liked the characters. I liked just the people and the acting and the screenplay and the story progression.
I just
liked all
equate
that
this
stuff.
to like a Hallmark movie. They're hitting the notes that
Wow.
they're hitting they're hitting the obvious notes to hit to pull the nerve that they want to pull. It's basic in its
I don't think the delivery was anywhere near what a
It's
Hallmark movie would have
deep,
given.
but like a Hallmark movie is deep,
I think maybe on
No,
the
they're not deep.
surface, a Hallmark movie could have had the
I don't
same
think this movie's
premise,
deep.
but the depth of this movie, which I think it very much was, I think you wouldn't have gotten that out of a Hallmark movie. Especially the performances, and I think just
There's some
how
good performance too. Lacey Chabert is
people
one
were.
of a kind.
I think the relationship between the father and son in this movie was done really well, and I think that's what kind of like makes the movie really good.
I think Mads killed it.
Yeah, I like the kid too.
We should do a father-son relationship movie draft.
Angels in the
Okay.
Outfield.
It's a bad one, but yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
fuck,
bad
sorry.
relationship, but it works.
Oh, yeah. It's in there. It's the whole premise. It's the whole reason he gets molested by the angels.
Yeah.
We don't see that in that movie, but I think that's going on.
Here
I'm
those
just saying.
angels looking.
Christopher Lloyd. Don't tell anyone about a relationship, kid.
Should we
Just-
rate
just
it? I
saying.
rated it.
Yeah, where's the thing? I forgot to do the thing, filling out the thing. So, but yeah, let's rate it. Do some ratings.
What do you guys give acting?
We go 9.5, 9.5, 9,
I'll go 8.
Plot development,
I'll go 8.
9.5.
cinematography.
7.
Let's do 7.5. There's nothing very remarkable about the cinematography.
So you gave it a 7.5.
7.5. It was
Yeah.
fine. It was nothing like
That's
it
a good
wasn't-
rating.
It was never like, oh damn, this is a great shot. But it was fine. It wasn't. But it was also one of those like I didn't even notice it. It just felt very like authentic and organic.
Deacons
so
would
it was-
say that's a good
it was
thing.
yeah. I think in that sense, so 7.5 is a middle high. So middle high, it's good, but no
Schwartz?
remarkable shots.
7.
I'm
7.
saying.
What's your opinion on 7.5 being middle high?
I mean, I think that's a good score.
Soundtrack, musical score.
I'll go 7.
Dude, I don't even remember any music in this movie
Yeah.
at all.
Uh,
I'll just give it that a 7.
There were some times where I can remember the
Unremarkable.
music being like unnerving and stuff and trying to hit you. So I'll give it. It did good. It did good with that.
7.5.
Direction and editing,
I'll go 8.
9.
visual design, a production design, visual effects.
I mean, that doesn't really matter in this movie, but I
mean,
don't think it was bad, so I'll go
I
7.
I think visually they like painted the town well. They painted the picture like where they were living pretty well. I mean,
But
in the
that's not
sense of,
really
and
visual effects, though.
well, it's
Production
production
design.
design slash visual effects.
Yeah.
I don't think
all
anybody designed that neighborhood.
the visual aesthetic of the film kind of category.
Yeah, I'll give it a
Without
7.
being cinematography. Give that 7. No, I'll give that an 8. I'll give that an 8.
Originality, creativity.
8.5.
I do think that this is an interesting way of doing a movie like this because it takes out all the key scenes you're used to seeing in movies, and I think that was very creative. I think it was also very creative to cast someone who is known as to be a character actor in a very modest role. I think that was very creative. I think when you're making a movie about kids and dealing with families, it could go wrong because like kids are like really unagreeable and sometimes are annoying, and the kids in this movie all were were really good. So I think I'll give it an 8.
I'll give it a 9.5. I'll switch to mine to 9.5 because I agree with everything Schwartz said.
Pacing, overall flow,
8.
8.
emotional impact,
8.
resonance,
8.
9.5.
cultural or societal relevance.
I'll go 9.
9.5.
Cool. Schwartz has a 7.8 for this film. Jake has a astounding 8.7 for The Hunt. 2012's
movie, it's a great movie.
2012's The Hunt, 8.7, and he has a solid 5.
5. Can you run down your
Solid
numbers?
5.
I can't find the fucking link. Can you run down your numbers?
Sure. Acting performance 7. I thought it was pretty strong. Plot development 5. Cinematography 5. Sound and music 4. Direction and editing 5. Production design visual effects 4. Originality and creativity 5. Pacing overall flow 3. Emotional impact resonance 6. I can't deny I hated it. Cultural and societal relevance 6. It's more relevant today than it has ever been before.
Some hater numbers, but all right. I give it lover numbers, so whatever.
5. If you're gonna give it an 8.7, I'll give it a 5.
That's
So-
still around. Probably averages around what 7 something between our scores.
Yeah, probably something like that.
Cool. Guess that's high enough to party.
Vinterberg.
Vinterberg. Any other? What have you guys seen? Other Vinterberg? I saw Another Round. That was pretty good. That was like a lot of the same actors, and they were just drinking a lot. It almost felt like maybe
Celebration.
it was a sequel
They were
to
really
this.
drunk the whole time too, right?
Yeah. They were all, and they were teachers as well. It's almost like a weird follow up, and like you just forgot about the whole shit that happened.
That'd be interesting if that was really the plot.
That would be funny. Yeah, but yeah, he's like what they were like. The idea was like if they always have a little bit of alcohol in their system, they operate more operable. Like they're more highly operable.
Highly functioning.
There it is.
Wait, that was the idea of the movie?
Yeah, like if these teachers like decide to like always have a little bit of alcohol in their system, so they're just constantly drinking, and they
pretty
think
funny.
they like just are fully
Because I watched an interview with
Matt.
Mads Mikkelsen, and he said that they actually were drinking.
I
Like,
wouldn't
for
be
real,
surprised. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're probably all buddy. Like, there's literally like a lot of the same cast as this, from what I recall. A bunch of the same dudes. I think that was only like a few years later too that they made that. When the celebration you saw, sure.
Yeah, I've seen that. I was the only one who've seen besides for this one.
I need to watch. I
have it on DVD if you want to borrow
okay.
it.
I think it was on Criterion, or is
It was, not anymore.
was. It's not anymore.
So.